What's up, everybody? This is Sunko, the Korean bro, and today is 2022 October. Is it October? October, November, September, October, November, December, September. So September 16, right? Okay. Nothing's new. Uh, I feel like I have to do reading some of the articles. So I'm here. Uh, let's see what we have tonight. Okay. Hmm. Okay, what articles can it be interesting? Let's see. U.S. market sleep on inflation, corporate gloom. Okay. Hmm. Germany takes control of three Russian-owned oil refineries. Okay, we got oil articles. Okay. No one's told these three stocks is down week. Okay. Hmm. Treasury recommends exploring creation of a digital dollar. Okay. Hmm. Global stocks, Wall Street future lowers amid inflation pressure. Hmm. Okay. DOJ to use a carrot and stick approach on corporate crime. Okay. Is there a cure for what is ailing Teladoc stock? Okay. Want to save time and money? This tactic could be the secret sauce to your success. Three banks worth considering for quarter 4th. Analysts suggest holding your best buy stock a little longer. Hmm. Why medical products maker Replacement may be a potential buy. At 10%, is Arbor Real Trust dividend worth it? Three downgrade message stocks to put on your watch list. Three energy stocks nearing breakouts from cup shaped patterns. Prepare for a record setting quarter for cybersecurity stocks. Hmm. The automatic market is slowly recovering. These stocks may outperform. Okay. I just picked 10 articles. Then let's briefly go over it, okay? One by one. U.S. markets sleep on inflation, corporate gloom. Barring an enormous rally, Wall Street is headed for another losing week as grim news from a corporate bad waters and a higher than expected U.S. inflation data continue to weigh on markets. Futures for Dow Jones Industrial Average lead 0.9% Friday, and the S&P 500 tumbled 1%, compounding losses from earlier in the week. Four interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve this year have done little to tamp down four-decade high inflation, and economists expect a third straight jumbo increase of three-quarters of a point when the central bank's leaders meet next week. Reports this week from the government show that prices for just about everything but gas are still rising. The job market is still red hot, and consumers continue to spend, all of which give ammunition to Fed officials who say the economy can tolerate more rate hikes. Hmm. So people at the government still say that it's tolerable, right? Wall Street's decline indicates no sign of relief for risk sentiments, while the job market data provided the go ahead for further tightening in monetary policy. Hmm. Blah blah blah. Okay, U.S. markets slip on inflation, corporate gloom. Okay, that's literally what it indicates, right? Germany takes control of three Russian-owned refineries. Germany is taking control of three Russian-owned refineries. Germany is taking control of three Russian-owned refineries. Why the hell Germany is in control of Russian companies? I wonder. To ensure energy security. Okay, I get it. Energy security before an embargo on oil from Russia takes effect next year. An embargo on oil from Russia takes effect next year. Official says Friday. Okay. Two subsidiaries of Russian oil giant Rosneft Deutschland GmbH refining marketing GmbH will be put under the administration of Germany's Federal Network Agency. The Economy Ministry said in a statement. Okay, so these two, not okay. What is it? Two subsidiaries of Russian oil giant. Two subsidiaries of Russian oil giant will be under control. Not under control. Will be put under the administration of Germany's Federal Reserve. Okay, as a result, the agency will also control the company's shares in the refineries PCK Schultz, Miro, Bayonne, located in the east and south of Germany. East and south of Germany. This is a far-reaching energy policy decision to protect our country. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said, "We've long known that Russia isn't a reliable supplier of energy anymore." Russia isn't a reliable supplier of energy anymore. With today's decision, we're ensuring that Germany is supplied with oil in the medium and long term as well. Germany is supplied with oil in the medium and long term as well. That is particularly true for the Schwarz refinery. Supplied with oil in the medium and long term as well. Okay, let's briefly go over this one more time. So Germany takes control of 3 Russian-owned oil refineries because and it will be put under the administration of Germany, and because to get full security, right? To ensure energy security, okay? This is a far-reaching energy policy decision to protect our country. Far-reaching energy policy decision. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said, "We've long known that Russia isn't a reliable." So they know and they define that Russia is not a reliable supplier. So they gotta do something, otherwise they be in trouble, right? So. With today's decision, we're ensuring that Germany is supplied with oil in the medium and long term. The facility provide petroleum products to much of northeastern Germany, including Berlin. Rosneft accounts for about 12% of Germany's oil refining capacity. That's much, right? 12%. Importing oil worth several hundred million euros every month, the ministry said. It said the move would help ensure continued energy supplies and was initially due to last for 6 months. Okay, it was initially due to last for 6 months, but now because they ensure supply of oil from imported from Russia, they can ensure the stability of the economy. And now let's go over to the next article. Okay, no one told the street stocks is down this week. Okay, what is it? U.S. stocks suffered their biggest one-day drop in more than 2 years on Tuesday. Why is Twilio stock going up? Okay. CRISPR Therapeutics. Okay. U.S. stocks suffered their biggest one-day drop in more than 2 years. 2 years on Tuesday. Stocks suffered their biggest one-day drop in more than 2 years on Tuesday. Biggest one-day drop. Okay. Oil and gas companies as well as auto manufacturers have managed to move higher. Auto manufacturers, oil and gas companies at the individual stock level, there have also been some interesting contrarian movers. Okay. Yes, the market's strong September start was washed out by another hotter than expected inflation reading, along with concerns that the Fed's contractionary rate hikes could spell doom for the economy. Neo, yeah, let's get it started on Neo. Neo has been the star of the week, up 15% since Friday. The China-based premium EV maker posted some second quarter numbers that caught the market off guard and prompted a sustained buying pressure. Okay, revenue of $1.5 billion came in ahead of consensus and represented a 13% year-over-year growth. Okay, a decent result considering lockdown conditions were in place in China for much of the period. Okay. A decent result considering lockdown conditions were in place in China for much of the period. Okay. More than 25,000 vehicles were delivered in quarter second, which marked a slowdown from quarter first, but a 14% uptick from a year ago. NIO's ability to deliver double-digit growth in a challenging setting bodes well for when macro conditions normalize. Yeah, so under this hard period, they're doing pretty well. So which means if this corona, if they get over this corona period, they will do uh things much better, right? So August deliveries accelerated from July due in large part to the ES7 smart SUV rollout, which suggests things are starting to improve. And with production of the five-seat vehicle just starting to ramp. Okay. Management forecast of 32,000 vehicle deliveries in the current quarter implies 31% growth. Why is Twitter stock going up? Hmm. Twilio, okay, is a surprise mover this week, having advanced to nearly 9% as the communication specialist tries to recover from a 52-week low. An appearance at the Goldman Sachs Communicopia Technology Conference has revived interest in the stock. Analysts have emerged from the event communicating a bunch of positive reviews. Analysts have emerged from the event communicating a bunch of positive views on Twitter's ability to reinvent itself in the post-COVID economy. Analysts have emerged from the event communicating a bunch of positive views on Twitter's ability to reinvent itself in the post-COVID economy. Twillo. I forgot what it was. Twillo. Let's see what that is. Okay. Surprise mover this week. Hmm. Hmm. Together with subsidiaries, provide a cloud communications platform that enables developers to build, scale, and operate customer engagement within software applications in the United States and internationally. Its customer engagement platform provides a set of application programming interfaces that handles the high-level communication logic needed for nearly every type of customer engagement, as well as enable developers to embed voice, messaging, video, and email capabilities into their applications. The company was incorporated in 2008 and is headquartered in San Francisco, California. Hmm. So communication APIs for okay, let's see. Analysts have emerged from the event communicating a bunch of positive views on Twitter's ability to reinvent itself in the post-COVID economy. Much like Zoom, Twitter shares enjoyed a big ride during the pandemic, only to give back their gains and return to March 2020 levels. Goldman Sachs, okay, they went really high when COVID hit, and now it was hit really high, but now it went back to the level where it was March 2020 level. Goldman Sachs, JMP Securities, and other reiterated their buy ratings on Twilio after the conference. JMP Securities is particularly bullish, having placed a $175 target to suggest that stock can double from here. Hmm. Most of the positive feedback relates to Twitter's announced restructuring. Most of the positive feedback relates to Twitter's announced restructuring. Some say it is a move that is well overdue given how rapidly headcount has grown in recent years amid a COVID-driven demand and a fervent M&A activity. Although layoffs are bad news for some Twitter workers, it's good news for the stock because it shows management's commitment to profitability. Okay, although they've laid off some workers, it's a good sign for investor because upper management team they're willing to commit themselves to profitability, right? So from a investor point of view, which is it's a good thing. Mm. The street is now projecting a return to positive EPS by the second quarter of 2023 by when much fat trimming is expected to have occurred. Hmm. Twilio. Okay, Twilio. Okay. Next one is CRISPR Therapeutics stock bottomed. Hmm. Counter market mover this week, having jumped 90% and regained its 50-day line. The Swiss American developer of gene based medicines for a range of serious diseases presented at Morgan Stanley's. So, something that has got to do with a medical thingy. So, let's keep on this one. Treasury recommends exploring creation of a digital dollar. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen speaks after touring the IRS, the new Kettleton Federal Building. So, what does she say? The Biden administration is moving one step closer to developing a central bank digital currency. So, Biden administration, there are a couple of things that that I know about Biden administration. They are really interested in renewable energy. One thing that I know of is a solar energy. Um, and he also recently approved funding for EV industry, electronic vehicle industry, and there's now one more thing added here. The Biden administration is moving one step closer to digital currency. Okay, known as the digital dollar, saying it would help reinforce the U.S. role as a leader in the world financial system. The White House said on Friday that after President Joe Biden issued an executive order in March calling on a variety of agencies to look at ways to regulate digital assets. Okay. Hmm. The White House said on Friday that after President Joe Biden issued an executive order in March calling on a variety of agencies to look at ways to regulate digital assets. The agencies came up with 9 reports covering cryptocurrency impacts on financial markets, the environment, innovation, and other elements of the economic system. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said one Treasury recommendation is that the U.S. advance policy and technical work on a potential central bank digital currency. Or CBDC, so that the United States is prepared if CBDC is determined to be in the national interest. Okay, right now some aspects of our current payment system are too slow or too expensive. Okay. She even mentions that current system is too slow. Okay. Yang said on a Thursday call with reporters laying out some of the findings of the reports. So she is seriously thinking of change in digital market, and she feels it is slow and expensive. So she thinks it needs to change, right? Central bank digital currencies differ from existing digital money available to the general public, such as the balance in the bank account, because they would be a direct liability of the Federal Reserve, not a commercial bank. According to the Atlantic Council non-partisan think tank, one of five countries representing more than 95% of global gross domestic product already are exploring or have created a central bank digital currency. Hmm. The council found that the US and the UK are far behind in creating a digital dollar or its equivalent. Hmm. Okay, so now I get to know one more thing. Okay, global stocks, Wall Street futures lower amid inflation pressure. Um, One thing that I recently mm, find out is that it's important for me to get to know about the relationship between future and stock, because from time to time article about future pops up, and like I have no idea on what it is, because I don't have much knowledge about it. Okay, so I feel like I have to read a book about this. Otherwise, I'll be not able to be understand, right? Global stocks and Wall Street futures fell Friday after higher than expected U.S. inflation dashed the hopes the Federal Reserve might back off plans for more interest rate hikes. London and Frankfurt opened lower. Shanghai, Tokyo, and Hong Kong retreated. Oil prices declined. Wall Street's benchmark S&P 500 index lost 1.1% on Thursday, adding to declines after August inflation stayed near a four-decade high despite four interest rate hikes this year to slow the economy. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Anyway, future and futures lower amid inflation pressure. So amid inflation pressure, inflation pressure, CPI goes up, and futures lower. Okay, futures lower because inflation pressure, CPI goes up, interest rate hikes, uh futures lower. Okay, okay. Uh, DOJ to use care and state approach and corporate crime. What is DOJ? Faced with a decline in the number of corporate criminal prosecutions over the last decade, a top Justice Department official on Thursday unveiled new sweeteners for companies that cooperate with the government and a $250 million congressional budget request to expand its work. Every division that prosecutes corporate crime must now develop programs to incentivize the companies to report misconduct. Okay. Is there a cure for what is ailing Teladoc stock? What's gone right and what is still off about Teladoc stock? Mhm. Okay, let's see. Taylor stock went to the moon for most of 2020 and the early part of 2021. Okay. Today, TDOC stock is trading at a 5-year low. 5-year low. Okay. One of the more intriguing pandemic stocks, in my opinion, was Teladoc Health. Okay. The reason is the simplicity of its business model. I'm all about simplicity, and the company had a neatly packaged elevator pitch. It matched patients with a network of physicians via the internet. The company's business was somewhat of a novelty prior to the pandemic, but became an essential part of the nation's healthcare system as doctors' offices were closed. As these things tend to go, Teladoc stock went to the moon for most of 2020 and the early part of 2021. But the days of a stock price over $200 are long over. Today, Teladoc stock is trading at a 5-year low. And what's gone right and what is still off about Teladoc stock? Demonstrate proof of concept. Okay, let's read this carefully because I myself also invested some money into Teladoc stock, and uh, because I really do feel that it's valuable, and this company business model is really simple, and people. As soon as people hear about this company, they instantly understand what they do, what they provide, and how the thing works. It's basically a connection between um, doctor and clients, but then all done remotely, all done online, not offline. So things get much easier. Right? So let's keep on reading. There was something about Teladoc Health growing growth during the pandemic that just seemed obvious. That is that there are some non-urgent medical conditions that can be managed remotely. Earlier this year, MarketBeat commented that according to Fortune Business Insight, the global telenet market would grow 32% annually from 2021 to 2028. So I still have a belief that this is going to grow uh, year over year. People don't need to go to a hospital every time they're ill, right? Mm. Plus, as the steepness of remote work is proving, there are a lot of people who are being more particular about how and where they spend their time. Mm. How and where they spend their time. So it's not surprising that many patients would prefer a virtual consult rather than taking the time. As the statements of remote work is proving, okay. Mm. So it's not surprising that many patients would prefer a virtual consult rather than taking the time and effort to go to a doctor's office. With that said, it's also not surprising that Teladoc continues to see revenue increases on a sequential and year-over-year basis. However, the rate of that growth is slowing, and that leads into the primary concern I would have as an investor. Teladoc profitability is still years away. Still years away? Okay. The key words in Teledoc's business model are some conditions. The company earns revenue primarily from the subscription fees that its providers pay to the company. Uh, if Teladoc earns more revenue from these fees than they put out in providing care to the patients covered under the plan, they make a profit. This should work to Teladoc's advantage because many of the reasons for someone to consult with a physician online are of the non-critical variety. And in the company's most recent earnings report, there was evidence that it is earning more per customer than in the prior year. Plus, Helda continues to expand its subscriber base, but profit continues to be elusive. And the bad news in the company's latest report is that it is forecasting a much larger loss on a per share basis than previously expected. This is creating a bearish pattern of increasing revenues but falling, or in the case of Teladoc, non-existent profits. And by any model I've seen, that doesn't look to be changing anytime soon. Low barrier to entry. That leads me to my other concern about Teladoc. It's a lack of a defined moat. There doesn't appear to be much of a unique selling proposition as it relates to Teladoc. And in fact, MarketBase shows a long list of competitors who have a business model similar to Teladoc Health. Okay, so it's barrier is not so strong. Low barrier to entry um, is what investors to invest more money. It prevents them from investing more money because there are a lot of competitors. Too much fierce competition is not so good, right? On the other hand, that could create an opportunity for investors, as there will likely be some consolidation in the industry. But the other side of that coin is that would mean Teladoc would have to allocate more of its revenue towards such acquisitions when it's already spending a considerable amount on research and development. Hmm. Teladoc is an alien stock in search of direction. I've given you a lot of unwelcome news to consider with Teladoc stock, and unfortunately, uh, I'm closing this article with a bit more. The consensus forecast of the analyst stock tracked by MarketBit gives Teladoc a price target that would be a gain of over 100% from its current price. Wow. But much of that is based on ratings and price targets issued earlier this year. The most recent price targets don't suggest nearly that level of optimism, and given the current volatility in the market, they seem more realistic. So if you are not a big holder from 2021, the potential long-term reward for a small position in Teladoc stock may be worth the risk. It just depends on how long you're willing to wait. Okay. It just depends. It just depends on how long you're willing to wait. Okay. Next one, my medical products maker Repligen may be a potential buy. The stock returned 58.36% the past 3 months. Teladoc Health, TDOC. And partner companies involved with producing any product within the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, let's skip on this. We don't have much time. We're out of time. Okay. 3 downgraded. Most have stocks to put on your watch list. Nvidia. Okay. Night Bottoms. Okay. Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com. Let's look at Salesforce.com. Oh, it's pretty good. Okay. Salesforce.com. falls from FX headwind, wake up its earnings report, but it may also be bottoming. Mm. The company beat on the top and bottom lines and offered happy guidance. Record-setting quarter for cybersecurity stocks. The internet security stocks have been in a deep correction all year because of fears of slowing growth, but still there is no sign of that yet. Research from Checkpoint Software, 2Sentinel-1, proves that demand for cybersecurity is not only still strong but accelerating on many fronts. Hmm. Zscaler with robust results and outlook. Zscaler. Okay. Zscaler. The auto market is slowly recovering. The stocks may outperform Ford, Pulsar, Rivian. Let's see. The auto market is slowly recovering. These stocks may outperform. Auto stocks may be in favor again as prices for used cars continue to plummet on excess supply. The auto market has been functioning at odds with economic laws recently, and at times prices of used cars have been higher than their new model counterpart. But as the money supply starts to tighten up, used cars prices are once again starting to moderate, and sales are increasingly starting to increase for new cars. Pulsar. Ingredient. Okay, let's go over to Yahoo Finance. Okay. Mhm. Hmm. Okay. As FedEx stocks crashes, analyst points to a lurking Amazon. Treasury reports urge SEC, CFTC crack down on crypto. Tech giants have bigger problems than rising rates. Stocks plummet on heels of FedEx earnings warning. New Mount stock is too cheap to ignore. Why it's time to buy? Hmm. Kevin O'Leary says high market volatility signals opportunity. Here are two beaten down stocks and analysts like. Wait for a year-end rally, says Morgan Stanley. Here are two stocks to play that bullish outlook. Hmm. What really happened with the giant railroad strike that wasn't, and how Warren Buffett was involved? Take opportunities on days like today. Kevin really says it could be the best time to buy stock. There are two places he finds most load up, said Jim Cramer about these two real estate stocks. Still, the number one rule for stock market investors: always cut your losses short. These 20 stocks have short interest of 19% or more. Okay, I'm just gonna read only 5 articles. I've already done this for 41 minutes. So, okay, let's see. A U.S. Treasury is warning in three new reports that cryptocurrencies pose meaningful risk for consumers, investors, and business if not properly regulated. If not properly regulated, so it means if properly regulated, hmm, it's recommended, isn't it? The government is also recommended moving forward with work on a central bank digital currency. Okay, they are taking one step closer to uh, digital currency. If properly regulated, cryptocurrencies pose a meaningful uh, fact, right? The reports encourage the Securities and Exchange Commission and Commodity Futures Trading Commission to aggressively pursue investigation enforcement actions against crypto companies that aren't in compliance with laws. At the same time, if these risks are mitigated, digital assets and other emerging technologies could offer significant opportunities. Okay, it's an obvious thing, right? High tech giants have bigger problems in rising interest rates. Okay. Hmm. What are the two beaten down stocks that analysts like? Couchbase. Couchbase. Entire decade. Okay. He's even saying it's gonna stay flat for entire decade. Uh, last but not least, I'm just gonna read only two articles and then I'm done doing YouTube tonight. Let's look at this one. Wall Street is on a roller coaster again as investors try to navigate the path between high inflation and the Fed's aggressive interest rate hikes. High inflation and the Fed's aggressive interest rate hikes. What we know for certain is that the S&P 500 is down 18% year to date, and also is down 26%. And then one investing expert is getting on his soapbox to encourage investors to buy now while prices are low. Um, Case for investors to take advantage of volatility to start a buying streak. Maybe the best thing to do it here is since you can't guess the bottom is to take opportunities like today, buy stocks that you think are attractive. Two compelling takers whose current low shape prices or do not reflect their long-term value. Couchbase. Database management. Okay, let's look at what this is. Couchbase. Hmm. Database management. Couchbase produces a distributed series of open source database as a service platforms of offering users a distributed architecture that allows elastic scaling, workload isolation, and real-time data replication while avoiding security issues associated with single points of failure. The system is built for use on mobile and IoT devices. They use intermittent connections or depend on a micro server or a consumption-based cloud computing, which is all a fancy way of saying that Couchbase's products, Capella, the Couchbase server, Couchbase mobile, and the autonomous operator go where your work is. Helio Technologies, a player in the global industrial technology sector, leading provider of hydraulics and electronics, developing, designing, manufacturing, and marketing a wide range of products and hard tech solutions. Too much, isn't it? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. And the next one we have is Chinese internet stocks beating down G makers. Okay, inflation has been on top concern among investors. If prices continue to get out of control, the Fed will likely keep raising interest rates aggressively. To take opportunities on days like today and buy stocks that you think are attractive. The semiconductor sector had a strong bull run in 2022 and 2021, but in 2022, it's giving off a completely different vibe. Fallen deep into bear market territory. Extremely volatile. Okay. But the country's potential, if you're looking for long-term secular growth, there's no question the Chinese economy over the next 20, 25 years is going to become the largest economy on earth, he says. There's an economy war, technology war, regulation war going on with the United States. That too could be temporary. Putting his money where his mouth is. I own China stocks. I have an index of them, particularly global internet behemoth, large companies like Alibaba, he says. And that could give contrarian investors something to think about. If you own Amazon, why don't you own Baba? The same idea. Or just noise, okay? O'Leary further explains that the political issues around China stock, such as the threat to delisting them, are just noise. To have no allocation to the world's fastest growing economy is crazy. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, Chinese stock. Okay, this is it for today, and I'm see you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Okay.